Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I'm your guide and host through the show. And today is our monthly series called Better Business with Ben. Who is Ben? Ben Lalez is one of the top real estate agents in Chicago. Out of 46,000 agents, he's right at the top of the mountain. He has a team, the Ben Lalez team with Compass. And Ben comes on every single month to give us some really great tips of how you can scale your business, your team, and just really any way to increase your overall production. Ben, welcome once again.
Thank you, DJ.
Let's give a pitch for your social media.
Oh, thank you. Check out the Ben Lalez team on Instagram, or you could find me on LinkedIn, benlalez.com. Thank you.
And
too kind.
What I like about your website, benlalez.com, is it is very intentional, and you don't have any superfluous stuff in there. It's really all just here, and it's very minimal as well. So I encourage everyone to check it out. It's a very unique take on a realtor website.
Yeah, I don't dilute myself into thinking someone's going to benlalez.com to search for real estate. And I feel like everyone's trying to win on search. Well, guess what? You already lost. Zillow has won.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Zillow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Compass has one, question mark? I don't know.
Yeah, Compass has one, and they probably get some traffic.
They do.
But if I wasn't Compass and I'm not, I don't know, Coldwell Banker, I'd probably not put the search on my website.
Yeah.
Not needed.
No. Blog does well. Anyway.
What are we going to talk about today?
So I feel like the caption is Keeping It Real podcast, Better Business with Ben, recognizing opportunity.
Yeah, this is a big one. Right now, we have so many agents that are struggling, right? We have low inventory. We've got high interest rates. We got buyers sitting on the sidelines. We have people locked into 3% mortgages that they don't want to leave. So there's just not as much activity. Last year, 30-year low in real estate home sales, although that's ticking up now, thankfully.
So we were talking before, and I kind of want to talk about, because ultimately what we're doing here is better business. What's the problem, and then what is a potential solution? So the problem that I see with agents on my team, but globally, is they'll be going about their ordinary course of business. And listen, I don't know. For me, it seems normal, but the opportunity is it's looking at people right in the face, and they just don't see it. Right. And I we'll start with some examples, but sometimes the opportunity is there and agents are ignoring it. And I want to go through ways that people can see it and then capitalize on it because people don't know it's there.
I have a great phrase for this. We're going to call it the elusive obvious.
Elusive obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So I'll give you an example of something that just happened. So we have a cold rental lead come in. Right? Hey, I need to list my property for rent. Okay. On its surface, you do the CMA and it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,600. Great. 3,600. I might make, after splits, et cetera, I take home $3,000.
That's a good day.
Yeah, move on into the sunset, right?
Right.
What comes to your head?
So opportunities beyond the listing the rental and getting in the tenant.
Yes.
Well, I would assume this is probably an investment opportunity, or rather an investor who might be interested in buying more condos or more units.
Maybe.
This person also doesn't live there, so they need to live somewhere else, so maybe they're moving.
Right. What else?
What else? Well, all of the tenants that are applying have opportunity there to match them into other apartments.
Yeah. So, the first step always is, I think people need to ask more questions. So this person came in, and I don't, I'm trying to not sound egotistical. This stuff is second nature to me, and I realize that it might not be second nature to everyone. But first thing is, okay, where are you going? And he says, I'm moving in with my girlfriend. Okay, great. And I'm going to kind of take people through the whole arc of all of the questions. All right, great. So you obviously own this condo. Does your girlfriend own something? No, she's renting. Okay, well, great. Well, there's no real opportunity there yet. I'm like, okay, when is her lease up?
Yeah.
Oh, her lease is up at, it's up in May. I'm like, okay, wow. Are you guys planning on staying? They're like, oh, I don't know. Well, first opportunity is, hey, if you need something, I'm happy to, help you guys find whatever it is you may need. Just because the girlfriend is currently renting does not necessarily mean she also doesn't own any property.
Right.
Does she own anything? No, she doesn't. Okay, so at that point I'm like, okay, maybe nothing is there. So I go ahead and I do, my CMA, and I see what he purchased it for, and it's a really hot market. So whether or not he's interested in selling, that's where I always start is, okay, this is how much your property would sell for in today's market.
Yeah. How long ago did he buy it?
Like 2.5 years, 3
So
years.
the price has gone up.
Yeah. So he bought it for like 505. Listen, he's not going to make a ton of money, but I'm like, you could probably sell this for 550 plus right now.
That's a down payment for a new place.
Do you want to do that? No, I don't. Okay, so I'm back to square one, just leasing his place. Then my head goes to, how long have you been with this girl? Why?
Marriage.
Like, are you guys going to? I'm like, are you ring shopping? Like, what's the situation? And he's like, yeah, like, we're getting really serious. I'm like, okay. When that time comes, are you going to be moving back into the place that I'm renting? And now I'm accomplishing two things. One, I want to make sure that, I don't lock this place up for 2 years if they're planning on moving back in. But if they're not, okay, cool. I have a lead. That's my pipeline.
Yeah.
That's 2025.
You have a great lead.
Yeah, 2026 pipeline. These people are probably getting married.
And when people get married, they typically want to find a new place together.
Right. So then I have that. Okay, let's go back to the lease. So I do all of my research. And of course, I plan to get tenants and place them if possible as, I put it up on the market. But also, he starts saying like, yeah, in the building, many of the people have been there for a long time. So then you ask the question, do you know of anyone looking to sell in the building?
Right.
Right. And listen, ultimately, what I truly believe is we will probably list this and get one tenant. But this is a small microcosm of the entire business. If you're having that one instance times 20 in a given week, month, or whatever the case may be, you're going to find more and more opportunity. And I can't explain to you just how often I'll have this conversation with like a team member, and they haven't asked any questions.
Right.
And one of those opportunities is actually completely fully baked, and they just don't. It's just there.
They didn't ask the question.
Take it. Like, oh, you're moving in with your girlfriend, and she owns. Now they're selling one of those.
Yeah.
For sure, right? They're either going to move in. So you have to be ready to seize the opportunity when it comes. And I can go through other examples, but what it comes down to is everyone who's watching needs to ask, I don't know, triple the amount of questions that they're asking right now.
Yeah. With that same example, what you could also do is now you're in that building. Now you have access. Is it a big building?
6 units.
Oh, perfect. You could write an individual letter to all 6 of the people, slide it under their door if you want to, or put it in their mailbox and say, just so you guys know, I'm renting this property for so-and-so. If you guys are interested in either renting or selling, or just want to see what your place is worth for rental or for sale, I can just run that up for free for you, just as a gratis thing. And there you go, right there.
I want to go through one other example. We have a listing in the Hancock right now, and we did this wild video, and our seller goes, everyone is so unhappy. I probably shouldn't say this. We're going to do it anyway. Many of the people are unhappy with the representation in the building because there's, X number of people who dominate in the building.
Right. So you're talking about there's realtors who may even live in the building or who really just focus on the Hancock building. They become kind of the go-to person.
I would argue that many people will be like, oh, okay, that's interesting, and move on with their lives.
Right.
For us, we recognize an opportunity to, make sure that everyone knows just the level of marketing that we're doing. So, first of all, the simplest thing is to ask, hey, do you know anyone else who is selling? We'd love to help them. And I think I've probably become a little immune to like the anxiety that may provoke in others. But asking the question, like, who's thinking about selling? We would love to help them. That question is enough. But if not, we're already flyering the entire building and have a QR code to the video that we're doing. We can maybe cue it. You can pull it up. I dive into the pool in my purple suit.
I've seen it.
Oh, you did see it.
It's a great video.
Yeah. So
that's for the Hancock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is a great commercial. We will put a link to that commercial. Commercial isn't really the right word, but short form video. We'll put that in because that is I was shocked when I saw that you dove in with a full suit into a pool.
Yeah, Zach's off screen, but we were there, and
in slow motion, by the way.
Yeah, I actually dove in slow motion. That wasn't
incredible.
That wasn't a trick of the video, but I was standing there and I'm like, trying to get a video. I didn't plan on it, and I'm like, I'm here. I'm in a suit. I have a change of clothes. And I think maybe within 3 minutes of making the decision, I was in the water. But also, that's opportunity to literally do something that people aren't willing to do and capture it on camera is opportunity.
And then you could also post. Obviously, you've already posted on a social. You can tag the Hancock in it. You can hashtag it up and do all sorts of things.
Yeah. So, but getting back to I really am cautious of people's time here, and thank you for bringing me on. I really want to try to bring as much value as humanly possible in the 10 minutes that we have people's attention. Is, DJ, you actually brought this up when we were, talking pre-shoot here, is, what I would challenge everyone who's watching to do right now is take a look at the last 10 opportunities that have come their way and really do a deep dive into how the opportunity actually came about. And to your point, try to duplicate that. So I'll give you an example. If you're touring with a buyer and it came from a referral. The referral source may be your sister, your brother, your friend. But from there, where were you? What happened that was the catalyst to have the friend say, hey, DJ, hey, Ben, you should really talk to Kim.
Yeah, let's say it was a dinner party.
Yeah. So it's okay, you might not recognize that you have a real opportunity to double, triple, quadruple the amount of dinner parties you go to.
Or host.
Yeah, or host them.
Yeah.
Because that's when those opportunities come about. And the opportunities are hidden, I think, where you may hear someone say oh, my friend got a new job. Oh, my friend is moving to Cincinnati or whatever the case may be. And there's your opportunity. And I actually wanted to talk about this in particular, job transfer. If I told you that my sister just got a job transfer to Cincinnati, you're a real estate agent, what should you be thinking?
I'm going to find the best real estate agent in Cincinnati and call them and say, how would you like a free lead?
Right. And I'm making the assertion, and I'm happy for people to jump in the comments and be like, of course you idiot. Everyone does. Everyone knows that.
No, they don't all.
They don't.
Yeah.
And that's my belief. And I think that referral income is really low-hanging fruit that people don't recognize. And it goes both ways. Let's say that example that we just gave you, someone's moving to town. People are so excited to have, received a lead that, they just get into, okay, let's go out and tour property. Let me understand your criteria. Let me put you in touch. There's so much to do. Let me put you in touch with a lender and let me get you set up on our search platform. But if they're moving here, what's your situation over there? Right? And my favorite income in the entire business is referral income.
Sure.
Let me negotiate my, referral fees are getting higher and higher. They were 25 or 20 when I started, and now you can get up to 35 and nobody bats an eye.
Yeah.
Well, if they're moving from Cincinnati, oh, you own in Cincinnati? Well, let me do, I have gone as far as saying, let me do the research for you, right? It's different when a consumer with limited knowledge goes and explores a real estate agent. I'll do it for you.
And you know how to interview the agent, you know what you're looking for, and you know how to develop the relationship. And when you talk to that agent, you can say, hey, by the way, I expect you to, in a cute way, you can sort of say it, but I expect you to let's do this all the time for each other.
Exactly. So then it extends one step further. Hey, I don't know how often you have people moving from Cincinnati to Chicago, but then you develop another relationship. And again, it comes down to, I just gave you 3 examples. One, the listing, the rental listing, it's right over here in Wicker Park, the Hancock, and this Cincinnati thing. they add up. You have a 10% chance here, a 10% chance here, a 10%
Yeah.
chance here, but people just aren't doing it, and they're not doing it with a level of consistency, recognizing that there might be more to, the business that's just staring at them right in the face.
Well, and the referral example is really powerful because you're no longer trading hours for dollars. Like you are literally handing it off,
Yep.
hoping for the best, and just going to get a check if in fact it closes. And you knock out enough of those, you will just you'll just hammer checks all the time.
Yeah, there's many agents that I am familiar with who, like, that's their whole job.
I know I've had them on my show. I know agents that are YouTubers that all they do is put out content that people who are looking to buy or sell in a particular area, they do certain neighborhoods, they talk about restaurants. They do not leave their office. They do not show homes. They do not work with clients. All they do is they pick a city, they pretend that they live there, and they do content. And then when they get those leads, they just pass them off.
Yeah. So, I'm interested in, like, your experience when you're talking to, you have how many agents at Kale?
700 plus.
Yeah, 700 plus agents. And my, again, assertion is that I don't know how many of them are doing over 10 transactions a year.
Not as many as I'd like.
Yeah, exactly.
Very few.
And I'm making the argument that the people who are doing like under 10 transactions, doing 5, 6, 7 transactions, they are ignoring opportunity that is staring at them right in the face. And I can only tell you from my experience that it took longer than you may think to understand that the opportunity is there. And at this point, I'm almost not interested in the business that's there, like the seller and the buyer,
Sure.
because the job is done. Whatever
Right.
I had done in the past.
You already know how to do that.
Yeah, it's here. Okay, how can I maximize my profits?
Sure.
By thinking 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps further, asking all of the relevant questions, and making, there's a huge difference between 1 client and 2 clients. If I can turn every client into, 50% more business, well, I'm probably going to have a successful career.
Yeah, and this also brings up the opportunity for referrals to other industries, right? So or other ancillary stuff. So who's your estate planning attorney? Oh, you don't have a will? We need to get that set up for you. Call my guy. Or, how about accountant? Do you have an accountant? I've got the best one. Things like that where you can set up these reciprocal referral relationships and just get business all day.
Yeah. And, I don't actually think it is confined to sales. I think it's also relevant to talk about because ultimately what we're talking about is opportunity that extends outside of a transaction. And I want to use like kind of this as the example. Sitting here with you, I'm not sure where any of this is going to lead, but you have to put yourself out there because you believe that there is like additional opportunity. I believe that this may lead to referral partnerships with agents who are watching. I believe that agents may join my team because of this. And you have to be ready to have hey, DJ, I'm asking you right now, if an agent reaches out, can you please put them in touch with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And you have to have the guts to actually ask that question so that it actually happens, as opposed to, crossing your fingers and, hoping
and in fact,
DJ's goodwill.
We do have a relationship like that because Ben has said, because I recruit for Kale, and Ben has said, hey, if you have somebody that's not a fit for Kale, but would be a fit for my team, can you pass them over to me? And I'm like, well, sure. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah. What you actually said was, sure. What will you, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
Yeah.
What's in it for me? I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
It's 2 business people trying to do right by each other.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. But that's the opportunity that is sitting right there. Obvious. I know you recruit. I'm hiring. All right, cool. Let's make something happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I also want to give one little tip that I think was a really fun way about going back to duplicating a client. So I'm going to ask you, we'll go through this exercise, just takes a minute, and I encourage everybody to go through this as we're going through it with Ben, sort of think about these answers on your own, because we're going to give you a strategy here that will absolutely work. So I want you to think of, we're not going to use their name, we'll call them, well, depending on what their gender is, we'll call them John or Sally. Think of a client that you really liked working with, and you wished if you could duplicate that client, and that could be the one that you work with mostly. People like that would be a great business for you.
John.
John. Okay. What does John do for a living?
He's a consultant.
He's a consultant. Perfect. Okay. So here's what you do. We now know, John, do you want to work with more consultants?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know pretty much what they want and what they need?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, great. And even if you said no, then you could call John and say, hey, I want to work with more consultants. What do they want and need? Okay. So now you call John and you say, hey, John, I am working on my marketing plan for this year. I would love to get your advice. By the way, he's a consultant. He gives advice. He loves that too. You can do this with anybody, but consultants love doing this. I would love to get your advice on something. Can I swing by your office for 5 minutes, or can I meet you for a cup of coffee? 5 minutes is all I need. So what you're doing is you're asking for their advice. When people ask for advice, it is very flattering. It boosts their ego. It makes them feel good. And you're not selling them anything. You're literally asking for help. So you say, hey, John, I want to meet you up for coffee for 5 minutes. I just want to run this idea by you, get your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think, or, do you have time? Okay, great. Meet him for coffee. You're going to ask John 2 questions. The first is, hey, John, I loved working with you so much. And I realized there are lots of consultants here in Chicago. I don't really, first of all, I want to work with more consultants. First question is, do you think that's a good idea? He's going to say yes. And if he says no, then you go, well, why not? But he's going to say yes. You say, sure, yeah, why not? And then second question is, great, if you were me, how might you get in front of more consultants? And you shut up. And he will tell you, oh, we belong to this group, or we have this meetings, or I'll introduce you to some friends of mine, or swing by the office and I'll introduce. It's literally that simple. And I'm telling you, it works. So again, the 2 steps are to duplicate your client, call them up and say, hey, or 3 steps rather. I want to take just a couple minutes of your time. I've got this marketing idea. I want to run it by you and get your advice. I really think you'd help me. You'd be able to help me with this. Great. Okay. Meet him. Hey, I want to work with more X, just like you, more doctors, more lawyers, more teachers, more nurses, whatever, just like you. Do you think that's a good idea? It is? Great. Hey, if you were me, how might you go about doing it? And then you shut up. And I'm telling you, if you do this once a week, you will have so much business, so many people. What people will ultimately do is they will go, oh, I work at there's 100 accountants at my firm. Why don't I get you in touch with the human resources person?
Home buyer seminar.
Yeah, home buyer seminar.
Yeah, that's what we do all the time.
So smart.
So what we will do and recognize opportunities, like we keep on, doing business with people. This has happened. So like we've done home buyer seminars with the Bulls, Pepsi. We're about to do one with Whirlpool, and it's not hard. Like they're emailing you from their Pepsi account or from their Whirlpool account. Hey, would it be useful to you if I came in and did a home buyer seminar? Because then you're also providing value. They get the opportunity to show their company that, they're in it for the long haul and that they're looking out for the company as a whole and their benefit. And you get to provide value that way too. And yeah, it's again an exercise in where is the opportunity? And then I would add an element to your speech with the consultant is how can you provide value to them? And it's like the law of reciprocity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing is how can I help you in your business? So that
Yeah.
would be maybe the third question to ask is how can I help you? And most of the time people will say, I'm good. But if they need something, maybe you can help them.
And, if you're an agent who is, running a team, for example, forget about listings and buyers. The opportunity for like recruiting agents is not always staring at you in the face. I'm going to give you an example of a few agents who've had tremendous success on my team. They started as clients and they say something to you like, do you like being a real estate agent? I'm like, yeah, I do. Could leave it there, right? Or you could say, why? Like, oh, I've been thinking about getting my license. You're like, and you know them at this point. You really should. And, you can come work under me. I've had an interesting amount of people have started their career with me that way. Or if you are out on a showing, and I'm not advocating for poaching any agents, but an agent is saying they're having a really tough time and they're a solo agent, they're not on a team. Cool. How about, you come in for an interview, see if maybe there's something there. maybe there's not, but there's opportunity
Yeah.
everywhere. Um, we have found that a lot of people have their licenses and they're just not doing anything with them, and it's just a side, and they're really really talented. Well, hey, like, why don't we cultivate that together?
Yeah, we own a holding company, which is for agents that aren't actively practicing, but they just want to keep their license in good standing with the state. They have other jobs, or they've retired. They're just not, actively working with clients. They don't pay MLS dues. They just want their license to sit somewhere. So what's great about that is we tell them, yeah, we'll hold it for you, no problem. But did you know you can still earn referral commissions along the way? So everything that you really said today can still apply even to agents that aren't actively practicing, because you can still find opportunity and then refer it out to anyone you want.
Yeah, and I'll just add one other point. So it's like, okay, how can you make an extra few bucks? Is Did you know that locksmiths will pay referral fees? Did you know that moving companies will pay referral fees? General contractors, closet people, you know, real estate agents are have you heard the cliche that we're the center of the referral economy?
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be doing these things, in my opinion, like for free, right? Like, so go and talk to your favorite mover, your favorite handyman, and just be like, listen, I'm gonna refer everyone to you, and maybe it's as simple as like, when I move, I expect you to do my move for free.
Yeah. It's
Some,
reasonable.
yeah, something like
I
that.
want to earn it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but there's opportunities are limitless, and people need to recognize them.
I agree. And I would just throw in one idea that occurred to me when we were talking about one of your examples about somebody getting married. I'd also start chatting with wedding planners.
Yeah.
Great idea.
So I'll give you something. When I was shopping for my ring, it's a close friend. Shout out Hakimi and Gem Imports. Hakimi Gem Imports. Um, I was like, hey, like, when people are getting married, I'm sure they're looking for a place. So I brought him I think it was like 16 coming of Vouv, a case of Vouv. I'm like, I want you. So I put my business card on all of them. Every time someone gives you the final check, you grab a bottle of Vouv and you put it, this is for my real estate agent, give them a call. It did not work, DJ. So don't do that. But
It was worth a try.
it's definitely worth a try. And, or when you're talking to your financial advisor or your accountant, hey, they're talking to the people that you want to be talking to every single day.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen unless you open your mouth. And that's what this all comes down to. Unless you open your mouth, you're willing to put yourself out there and ask for the opportunity. And I think it could that's what this all boils down to, is you don't get what you don't ask for. Ask for the opportunity, ask the question, and you'd be surprised. Once you're comfortable asking it 20, 50, 100 times, I promise it's going to end up working out in your favor.
Yeah, especially if it's past client. They like you. They want to help you. And you also should be chatting with them anyway to keep the relationship strong. And also you should be knowing what's going on in their lives. And hey, do you have any friends that are, going through a life transition right now? I mean, we know 58% of marriages end in divorce, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind is divorce attorneys, right? We're getting, again, lots of opportunity out there. You just have to think about beyond your existing problem of, I don't have enough leads. I don't have enough business. There's not enough homes for sale in my area. I have all these buyers that don't, yes, those are problems. And there's not an easy way to solve that. But there isn't always an easy way to find other opportunities. You just have to think outside of the problem.
Every interaction that people have today, there is, I don't know if it's small or large, but there is an additional opportunity to be had. I know that for certain.
Yeah.
At this point. Right. And I'll give you an example today. We get any lead that we get, we do research on them, kind of immediately. The first thing you should be doing is understanding if they own something, and just start there. Do they own, like, a buyer comes in, 90% of the time they're not going to be owning something, but they might. And you'd be surprised that they may own something in another city. Just start there. But then you need to be asking questions. Hey, do you own any other property? Are you looking to buy any other property? Are you moving? Do you need a referral for this or that? And that's like the basics, but it's one of those things. So me and my sales director, David Fields, um, I'm actually not sure, DJ, if this is something that can be learned or if it's just in people, right? I don't know if this can be taught. What do you think?
I think it can be taught. I think it's a skill. But it requires somebody to practice. And so I think this goes back to putting in the time, putting in the reps, asking a lot of questions. And this gives you a reason to pick up the phone. It gives you a reason to send a text or make a video message. These are the things you can always reach out to instead of just saying, hey, you're going to buy or sell your home this year, next year. You can ask all sorts of other questions tangentially related to real estate or not, and continue the conversation and find those little modicums of opportunity.
Yeah, I think we've probably beat a dead horse at this point.
Agreed.
Yeah, but recognize opportunity with Ben and DJ.
I love it. I love it. So if you didn't get a lot out of this conversation, then you go back and re-listen because there was a lot. Ben gave unbelievable examples of exactly what he and his team are doing to find opportunity that isn't so obviously sitting in front of you. Again, that elusive obvious. When you uncover it through questioning. So it's there. You just have to have a process, and you systematize everything. So that's another thing we should talk about in a future episode is exactly how to systematize your business so that you're not thinking about what do I need to do next. You have a process for what I need to do next, and therefore you can track it. You can look at the metrics, and you can see how effective it is, and then make improvements. If you don't have those metrics, you're sort of flying blind, right? Or you don't have those systems, you're flying blind. So we're going to talk about that in a future episode. Right now, for everyone, follow Ben Lalez on Instagram. What's your Instagram account?
The Ben Lalez team.
BenLalez.com as well to see his team. And by the way, what are you looking for in a team member?
We're in flux right now. We're looking for just great humans, great human beings that have some sales experience, that want to go to the next level. But we're looking for people who are just good, and they're
people that are
coachable, certainly. And I think that goes to people who want to give not only to us, but to their clients more value than they receive. People who, have a we over me attitude. People who, are doing this for the right reason, not only a paycheck. We're going to make people a lot of money, but honestly, DJ, we just want to be around good people who work hard. And, we have the framework and the leads to, take them to the next level. But unless they have like the soft skills, we're not that interested right now.
Love it. So if you think you could be of value to Ben and his team, reach out to him, benlalez.com, and find him on social media, the Ben Lalez team, all over. You can find all of his social media on his website.
So.
Yeah. If you can't, you're not doing a great job. But exactly. I know you are because I saw that video, the Hancock video, before you even mentioned or told me about it. So I love that. So for everyone else out there listening, the way that you can help us, if we provided you value, help us tell another agent about this show. That's all we ask. Just one agent. Who's struggling right now. By the way, every agent's struggling right now. So this is a great opportunity for you to pass this along, provide some value to your fellow agents, let them know about the show. I appreciate it. I thank you on behalf of Ben and all of our team. So please do that. That helps us out. And one more thing I'm going to ask for, one more thing to help us out, leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the show. So whatever app you're listening to us on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever, let us know what you think. It helps us out a ton. And from there, we are going to be doing this every single month. This is our second month doing this. And third month. And we are going to continue to do this. This is a fan favorite. So for everybody out there, please continue to support our show. Check out Ben and what he and his team offer. By the way, they've got great social media. Even if you just want to steal some of his ideas in your market.
We have good lawyers. Steal it.
Go ahead and check out his social media. They really do some cool stuff. They have great content, and you'll see exactly why Ben and his team are doing hundreds of millions of dollars every single year.
Shout out Content Club.
And Content Club, this is where we are filming. ContentClub.com is where you can go to learn about the studio that we are filmed in right now. It's amazing. They have an incredible team. You can see the quality here, and they can do all of your video needs. So definitely check out Content Club, whether you're shooting video as a real estate agent, or maybe you're not a real estate agent, you're in a different industry, and you want to shoot some video you want to make content for social media or for your website. This is the place to go. They can do everything for you. ContentClubChicago.com is where you go.
Thank you, DJ.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you on the next episode.